Hey, Sarah Knolenberg here, Emerald Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. Wanted to make a quick video explaining my journey to Emerald with Plexus. So a little bit about me. My husband is a pastor. We live in Illinois and we have two little boys, a 2.5-year-old and a 7-week-old. So brand new. But I wanted to start the journey actually way before my first son was even born. So my husband was working as a worship and youth pastor. I was working full-time at a nonprofit in events, got pregnant with my son, and I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. But financially, that was something that we just could not do. And so through my pregnancy, just kept praying for a way that I'd be able to stay home. Really didn't really think network marketing was an option for me, just because one, I didn't think people made real money with it. I thought it was already oversaturated, didn't have a product that I got excited about, and so never really thought about that as an option. So I just kept praying for a way that I could stay home and was just kind of waiting on the Lord. And so started seeing some friends post about Plexus. My son was about 6 months old by that point, and I was working part-time. I thankfully was able to go from full-time to part-time, but still just desperately wanted to be the one to stay home with him. I had to drop off at someone else's house when I worked, and I was going to different people's homes, and we were never on a schedule, and my heart was just to be home with him. Like, that's what I wanted so desperately. And so started seeing some friends post about Plexus and instantly knew that these products, I needed them. And I remember saving the post and going back and reading them and showing them to my husband, and wasn't how I felt before about network marketing and other posts that I had seen. And so decided to try the products. I tried them for a month and I loved them. I saw changes, and I can share more about my health testimony maybe in another video, but I just loved them. But then I thought, well, what if they really don't work? What if this is just a weird freak thing that this month I feel so good? And so I also knew that if I was gonna keep doing the products, one, we couldn't afford them every single month, so that I would have to share. And I'm not someone that just kind of does something. So I knew if I was going to share, I was gonna go all in, because the people that I had been watching, I could tell that they loved the products, and I could also tell that they were making real money. And I had some other ministry friends, their husbands were also pastors, and I was seeing them share and seeing how, the business and the products were blessing their life. And so kind of knew if I was gonna do it, I was gonna go all in. And so it took 6 weeks, stopped responding to my sweet upline, and just left her hanging. And I just kept praying. And so the one thing that the Lord kept bringing back to me was, if you don't do this, you're going to miss out. And honestly, just thinking about that still just blows my mind, because this opportunity has completely changed my life and it's just been the biggest blessing. So I'm just so thankful the Lord brought this to us. But I had this really big fear of being that girl and, being that person that sends people messages and all of that. But like I said, just the Lord kept bringing it back to me, I'm going to miss out if I don't do this. So I signed up on July 13th, 2017, hit the join button and paid my membership and my order of products. And I made my first post, and I was going all in and started, reaching out to all my friends and family about the products. I was someone that had a lot of fear in reaching out to people about the opportunity, because if you guys have ever taken that colors test, I'm like a yellow blue, so I'm really attracted by the fun, the trips, all of that, but also love to help people. And to me, it felt like if I shared about the money, if I shared about the opportunity, how is that helping someone? Because the products are making them feel better. If I share about the money, what are they going to think about me? Are they going to think that I'm just wanting to get rich? Am I greedy? I had all these insecurities about that. And so made it pretty much to senior gold on my own, without really just kind of signing people up for the products. Had a few people sharing with me, but just a little bit. Pretty much had taken myself to senior gold. So at the same time, it was kind of crazy, because we were living in Virginia and the Lord had called us to move to Illinois. And so right when I hit senior gold is right when we were moving to Illinois. And it was such a blessing, because with quitting my job, instead of having to find a new job or anything like that, I got to be able to stay home and reach that goal in 8 months with Plexus. And I will never forget the last day that I worked in that office, and just boo-hooing the whole day, thinking in the Lord's goodness, and how I didn't even know we were going to move to Illinois when I had started that opportunity, when I started with Plexus. And so kept working the business, and I had continued. I had more goals. As soon as when I signed up with Plexus and I heard about Emerald, with the Lexus, the free annual trip to Hawaii, just all the perks of Emerald, the 6-figure income, I knew I wanted that for our family. And so kept working towards that. So at the same time, we put our house in Virginia on the market, and we bought a new house here in Illinois, and just had faith that the Lord was going to sell our home. But our house did not sell. And so, instead of Plexus being something that was, supplementing that income, my business, the Lord continued to bless it. And so because of it, it was what allowed me to continue to stay home and pay our bills. And then my husband even sold his truck. So we went from, 2-car family, we went to a 1-car family and paying 2 mortgages. And the Lord provided for us every single month through my husband and then through Plexus. And just blown away by what the Lord was able to do, providing for all those bills, because 2 mortgages, oh my goodness. At that same time, it was right about convention, went to convention and realized something that I was really missing was building a team. So kind of going back to those fears and insecurities, I had this fear and insecurity about being a leader. I kind of had this thought like, well, there's so many training videos out there. I was someone that just watched training videos all the time. I just soaked all of those up. I was always asking questions. So I was kind of thinking for my, the people that signed up under me that were interested in the business, what did I have that they needed? Like, they could get that from other people. They didn't need me. So I didn't even have my own team chat. And so at convention, I remember being so inspired talking to people, hearing about their teams and how they're pouring into their teams, and people at the same rank as me and hearing what they were doing. And I realized, oh my goodness, this is something that I'm missing that I need to do. So if you ever are not sure about going to convention, you need to go. It changed my business. We just got back from convention this year, and it changed my business and my life once again. But anyway, started my own team chat, started pouring into my team, kind of did it scared and not knowing what I was doing, but just was kind of going with it. And at first I did not enjoy it, did not enjoy that aspect of it, but quickly fell in love with my team, fell in love with building the relationships with them, with seeing them meet a goal and seeing them do, something for the first time, pushing them to do something scary, and seeing how, helping them along that, and how that was developing me as a leader and making me grow personally. I loved it, and I still love it. I wish I did that part sooner, because it is such a joy to lead a team and such a joy to, go through that personal development. Sometimes it's not always fun, I guess, because it can stretch you. But how you come out on the other side of it is it's almost kind of addicting, having that personal development, that personal growth. So started building my team. At the same time, started feeling like I needed, more of a network, because, I was still meeting a lot of people in Illinois, but I was a stay-at-home mom then, and we only had 1 car, so I couldn't get out much, and, needed some other people to talk to about Plexus. So started building my Instagram, had about like 600 people, I think, that followed me, and had a private account, made it, public, and, started doing a couple things to help grow it. Went from, now I have about like 10,000 followers. A couple of things that just really quickly that helped me with my Instagram was get a preset. Unless you're like a photographer, but for me, I'm not a photographer, and I needed a preset. Helped me so much in getting my page just kind of overall look. Started doing some fun giveaways to be part of, and getting to meet some new people on Instagram, which was really fun. And I started posting consistently. So something else I kind of had a fear about Instagram was, well, what do I have to share about? Bob Heiling talks about, having 3 to 5 things that you're bringing value to someone's day about when you share on social media. So like being entertaining, being educational, being inspiring, having, everything that you post should bring value to someone. And I had this fear, like, well, what do I have to share about? Like, I don't know, I'm just a stay-at-home mom right now. And, I have Plexus to share about, but what else? And so started really thinking about, what are the things that I love and enjoy? So started sharing about my, being a boy mom, being a stay-at-home mom, started sharing about my faith, started sharing about what I was making for dinner, and then realized I needed a hobby. And I ran in college. I loved running, and hadn't done a race in a while. And so I decided to sign up for a half marathon at the end of last summer. And that ended up being something that I shared about, was running and preparing for that race, and the shoes that I was using, and just anything about that race and preparing for it. And really loved it, and would get messages of people being like, okay, you made me decide to go running again, and thanks for sharing about that. And really saw the value in, sometimes you might feel like this is not a big deal, but to someone that can actually really inspire them and bring value and joy to their life. And so if you feel like you don't have something to share about, I just encourage you to stop, think about a couple things that you honestly love, And if you have a couple, and if you're like, okay, I have like 2, but I need some more, then go get a hobby. It's good to have hobbies. You're gonna be a well-rounded person. We all need hobbies in your life. Like I loved racing, or training for that half marathon last summer. It was so fun, and I loved having something else to share about. I loved, what it did for my health and my well-being, getting that energy out. Like it was awesome. So, having a hobby is healthy. It's good. You'll meet some new people. So go get a hobby if you feel like you don't have 3 to 5 things. But yeah, so I started working that on my Instagram, and that kind of correlated to Facebook as well. But everything thinking about that I share, that attraction marketing that is bringing value to someone in every way that you share. So that was kind of last summer. I started working on my team, building my team. At the same time, also started realizing that I need to share more about the business. And I realized, this business has changed my life. It has allowed me to stay home. And, who am I to say if this business is not for them or not? And so as I'm, pouring into my leaders, I started sharing more boldly about the business. So when I would sign someone up, I'd bring up the opportunity, bring up the business, either that being saying like, hey, who can do this with you? Who can be an accountability partner? Have you ever thought about getting your products covered? I would love to help you do that. It kind of looked different for each person depending on our relationship, but kind of worked that into my conversation as I was talking about the products. And so it's kind of cool how the Lord works, because I feel like every time He's kind of sparking something in me as He's working in me and in the business side of things, like then something else confirms it. And so just like I felt like with my, working on my team, and He kind of confirmed that convention. So then I was feeling like I needed to share even more boldly about the business. And I go to Leaders Retreat, and Jessica Heffley started sharing about how, your friends that are following you, they think you make a couple $100s a month. And I was senior Ruby when I went to Leaders Retreat last summer. And I really realized just in her talk, you can watch it on YouTube, Jessica Heffley, Leaders Retreat 2018. It's awesome. But just realizing that was something that fear of what people thought about me and the money side of things was something that I needed to share about more boldly. And so started doing that, started to help my team do that more, which led us to January. So we're now, January of this past year, 2019. I realized my team, I was developing silvers, but I was not helping my team develop silvers. And so that really became a focus. Emily Gibson, Brooke Hemingway, they have some awesome videos on duplicating silvers as well. But started watching all those videos, and Emily Gibson has this video with Bev Austin talking about how they would have a note in their phone, and they would write every single person they were working on helping to go silver that month. And so I started doing that. I would put my level 1s that I was helping, and then I would put my level 2 and who my level 1 was that was under them, or that they were helping to develop. And then we would do group messages. So if it was a level 1 that I was developing, I'd put them in a group message with my upline. If it was someone who they were working with, I'd be me and my level 1 and my level 2 that they were working on developing silver. So that way my person under me was seeing that duplication piece of how I was developing a silver, so that they could then in turn, do it without me in the future. And then also was making sure that healthy duplication was happening. And so the other piece of that, of writing it in your notes in your phone, is you can have that accountability with them. So I still do this. I'll just go through my phone. I'm like, okay, let me check in with Mary and to see how Alice is doing on working towards silver. And so that can say, hey, I know she's gonna make her first post. I haven't seen it yet. How's that going? And then I'm having that accountability with them. And so just like you're working with developing your silver and checking in with them a lot. Abby Kappa has an awesome video. It's 5 minutes long on duplication. Go watch that if you're curious at all about more on developing silvers. But I did that, applied that same principle to my leader, and checking in with them and keeping them excited about the person they were helping to develop as a silver. So this last couple months, have been a really big focus for our team, and oh my goodness, our team has just taken off those last couple months as we were focusing on silvers and helping other people add some people. I mean, if you have a lot of people doing a little bit of work, whew. So April, I went Emerald, and I had 5 people under me go Gold. That's the highest rank I have under me. And then we had some super silvers and some silvers. But so something that I'm working on now, so it's now June. Oh my goodness, sorry. I'm talking too much. Anyway, so as something that we're working on right now is helping the people under me that have hit gold on helping to develop them more as a leader and going to that next level and that next rank. And the other thing as well is reaching out to people solely for the business. So like I was mentioning before, that I'm kind of that yellow personality. And, the thing that I love about this business is that, as you're learning, you're earning. And it's not like where you go to college and you have, a 4-year degree and then you make money after that. As we're becoming experts in this, you can, you're still providing for your family. And so I am constantly still learning and, getting new things and talking with other people and hearing what they're doing well and then applying that to my business. And that's what I love about this so much. And especially with Plexus, that really is that one Plexus mentality where, collaborating with other people from other teams and other leaders. And anyway, I guess let me finish off to tell you what happened with our house. So I'm pregnant with my second son, and it was right before he was born, like almost less than a month. Our house in Virginia finally sold. And then my goal was to be able to have a second car before he was here and to hit Emerald. And 8 days after he was born, or 8 days before he was born, I hit Emerald. And then 2 weeks later, I was actually able to get a second car for our family. And this business has completely changed my life. It's changed my family's life. Not even just on the products and how they've changed our health, but in the business, helping to pay bills and now being able to have a second car and put money into savings and not paying a second mortgage. So thank you, Lord, for providing for that second mortgage every month. But just the development piece of it, I feel like, I had this mindset of network marketing before being slimy, but realizing that this business is for people who love people, and that's the people that do well is people that love people. And so learning just, checking in with people and loving on them and just that personal development piece. So I have fallen in love with this business. Our comp plan is like nothing else. And so anyway, I hope this video is helpful and encourages you. I'll be 2 years in July. So next month, it'll be my second year with Plexus. And so I just want to encourage you, wherever you are in your journey, keep learning, keep watching lots of training videos, keep learning from other people. Know that you're never going to arrive in this, and, keep having that humble spirit of hearing what other people are doing and applying that to your business and sharing what you're doing, because what you're doing and what you're learning, it has value, and your story has value. And, to be a leader, know that I know it's sometimes you can have that title of a leader. I was senior gold when I started pouring into my team, and I already had a team under me before that, but it took to that point for me to step up into that. So just know, even if you have one person under you, you are a leader. So run with it. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.